All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dig into something, a hidden pattern really, that shapes just about every choice you make, from your daily habits all the way up to the society you live in. And believe it or not, it all starts in a place you visit every single day.
So let's just chew on this for a second, because it's pretty provocative, right? This is the key that unlocks that whole hidden pattern we're talking about. It dares to ask, what if the thing we call progress is actually a trap? Okay, so to really get this, our journey starts with, well, a tale of two toilets. I know. But stick with me. It's a super simple comparison, but it tells you so much about the systems we just automatically trust. I mean, look at this. The difference is just wild. On one side, you've got the squat toilet. Minimal contact, it's actually way better for your body, and it costs, well, next to nothing. Then you have the Western toilet. You're sitting on it, it forces you into this unnatural position, and it needs a never-ending supply of expensive paper. So, by almost every single objective measure, one is just better. So why on earth is the other one the one we call progress?
You know, someone in Turkey once asked this question, and it just cuts right through all the marketing and all the noise. It's so simple you can't argue with it. If you get something dirty, do you wash it off with water, or do you just kind of smear it around with paper? Obviously, water cleans. Paper, not so much. So why do we insist on the method that's less effective, more expensive, and honestly, less hygienic? The answer to that is the big idea here.
Okay, so you're probably getting it by now. This is not just about toilets. This whole dynamic, where this complicated, expensive thing comes in and replaces something simple and effective, it's everywhere. And we can give it a name, the convenience trap.
So what is the convenience trap, really? Here's the thing. It's not actually about making your life more convenient. It's this whole cycle where you're sold this idea of ease, but what you're really trading away is your own independence, your money, and a lot of the time, a much simpler, better way of doing things.
And the way this trap works, it's actually pretty straightforward. It's a four-step playbook. First, you create a need that wasn't there before. You convince people that, say, squatting is primitive or dirty. Step 2, you sell them a shiny product, the porcelain throne and all the toilet paper that goes with it. 3, you make them completely dependent on it. And boom, step 4, you profit from that dependency. Forever.
And this is the absolute key takeaway right here. Industries aren't selling modernity because it's better, they're selling it because it's profitable. Think about it. A squat toilet is basically a one-time thing. A Western toilet? Oh, that's a subscription for life. You're buying paper, cleaning stuff, calling plumbers. It's a constant stream of revenue.
But okay, this trap goes way deeper than just the stuff we buy. It's fundamentally changed us, our own skills. It's taken us from being these self-reliant, know-how-to-do-everything types to being these super-focused experts in one tiny thing.
Yeah, if you go back before the industrial age, being a polymath, someone who could fix things, grow food, build their own shelter, maybe even set a broken bone, that was just normal. You had to know that stuff to survive. Then the industrial age came along and said, nope, we need you to be a specialist. Just do this one thing over and over. And now, in the digital age, we've taken it even further. We've outsourced the most basic life skills to an app or some on-demand service.
Just think about it for a second. In your own life, maybe you're an amazing coder or a brilliant accountant, right? An expert. But what happens when a pipe bursts? Can you bake a loaf of bread if the stores are empty? We've traded this broad general competence for this laser-focused specialization, and it's made us incredibly dependent on this huge, fragile system of other experts for our most basic survival needs.
So let's zoom out, because this dependency thing, it's not just about us as individuals. When you scale it up, it creates this massive society-wide vulnerability.
And this right here shows you the difference perfectly. On one side, you've got decentralized networks, like your local farmer's market. They might seem a little chaotic, maybe not super efficient, but man, are they resilient. They can adapt. On the other side, you have these huge centralized chains, global supermarkets, incredibly efficient, but also incredibly fragile. They're built for one perfect scenario, and the moment things change, they just snap.
And we all saw this happen, right? The empty shelves during the pandemic? That wasn't some random glitch in the system. That was the system working exactly as designed. It was designed for maximum profit and just-in-time efficiency, not for resilience, not for handling a crisis. And this really gets to the core of it. When you have this top-down, centralized control, you're forcing people into these rigid boxes that look great on a spreadsheet but completely fall apart in the real world. You're overriding our natural ability to self-organize and adapt, the very skills that let communities solve their own problems and, survive.
Which brings us to the last piece of the puzzle. And honestly, it's maybe the most uncomfortable part. What's the end game here? What is the ultimate point of all this manufactured convenience and top-down control?
Well, the trap just repeats itself, but on the biggest scale possible. We pay taxes for the convenience of being governed, for all the top-down rules and bureaucracy, even when we know that local, community-driven, bottom-up solutions are often faster, smarter, and just make more common sense.
And when you follow that logic all the way, this is where you end up. The argument is that these systems of dependency, they're not an accident. They are designed this way. They're structured to benefit the people who already control the game, the ones with the money and power to write the rules in their own favor.
So that's where we land. From something as simple as a toilet all the way up to the structure of our global economy, this convenience trap runs on one thing: our participation, our consent. We're the ones who choose the complicated product, who rely on the expert, who comply with the system. Which leaves us with a really big question, a really powerful one. What would actually happen if we decided to withdraw that consent? What would it take to just step out of the trap?